Hey guys, Snipers227 here with a new series. If you guys haven't caught on yet, I am not using Windows, I'm using Mac OS X. Um, and that means that I will be covering some iOS tutorials. So hopefully you guys enjoy this series as much as you've enjoyed my Windows series. So to start off, in this video we're going to go over the setup. So to set up an environment where you can develop iOS apps, first we must go on the Apple developer site. If you don't already have a developer account, it's free until you release the app. If you want to release your app on the App Store, you do have to pay a $99 membership fee, and that is for a year, so you'd have to renew it annually. But say you just want to practice your iOS app development like I'm doing right now, and you don't really want to release anything, but you want to test it on maybe your iPhone or iPad, just creating a developer account without buying the full license will work as well. Yeah, so before it wasn't possible to test it on your devices without having the full $99 app, but in Xcode 7, Apple's changed that, which is the reason why I've started iOS app development, because instead of using a simulator, I could do it right on my iPad. So after, well, I'll get you to pause it right now and create the account and resume after you've done that. So I'm assuming you already have your account set up now, and we're back on this screen. You're going to go to the Apple developer website that we were at and go to resources, and under, just scroll down and go to Xcode and download, and you could download the beta or Xcode 7.01. It depends on if you're using the iOS 9.1 beta, you need this, but if you're just using the regular standard versions that Apple releases, you can get it with Xcode. I am using iOS 9.1 beta 4, so that's why I need this, because it's not included in the regular Xcode. But yeah, like I said, if you're not in the developer beta program, you'll be fine with Xcode. So you just view Mac App Store, and you can download it from there. Pause the video once again at this point and resume it once you're done. So I already have mine installed over here. So, yep, pause it for now. Okay, so I'm going to assume you guys are done installing the Xcode application, and now we're going to fire it up. So it will look the exact same as mine. The only difference is just I have support for iOS beta. So once you click it, you'll see that you'll get this screen. So there's Get Started with Playground, there's Create New Project, and like a bunch of other things. So if you just want to create a basic iOS app, yeah, just hit Create New Project, and it's going to ask you. So under iOS, there's application templates. You can see there's games. So if you want to create a game, there's OpenGL, Scene Kit, Sprite Kit, which I'll go over in another tutorial. And then for your apps, there's 4 different things. So, see if I can get to Safari just so I can show you the differences. So the first one is a master detail application. So what a master detail application looks like is this. Yeah, so basically it's essentially this. So you hit the plus button, and then it creates a little task or whatever you want it to create. And when you go inside there, You could put stuff like that. So this would be useful for things like, say you were making, actually a perfect example, in Apple iOS app is a reminder app. They use this template. Hit the plus to create a reminder, obviously, then name the reminder, and then there's like the date, start time, all these other things in it, and so on. So if you believe you need that, you can select that. There's the page-based application. So page-based application is basically a bunch of pages, so sort of like a book where there's the first page and then you could swipe to the second page and so on. So yeah, something like that. You see it goes by pages. Not too sure what the uses for this would be, as I haven't tried it yet. And then the single view application, the most popular one, or well, one of the most popular ones is just a singular page. And then there's tab applications, so this would have just a single page, but tabs at the bottom. So to start off, we're just gonna stick with a single view application. You're gonna hit next, name it, and I'm gonna name it test hello world app. Just hello world. Just put an organization identifier, and you're gonna select Swift and universals. Make sure use core data isn't selected. Hit next. It's gonna ask you to find a place to save it. I'm going to save it in my documents and hit create. So once you get here, you could either use one of the simulator, so if your Mac's fast enough, you could select the simulator and build it, or you can actually connect your device and it will appear, if you go up here, it will appear over here. You would just select it and run it on straight on your device. But obviously you can't see my iPad, so I'm just going to run the simulator. So you see we got the simulator running. And I mean, the simulator is a good option if you have a recently new Mac. I mean, some of the older ones, depending on how much RAM you have, will be fine as well, but I mean, if you find that the simulator takes a while to boot on the first run, so this is our first run, it generally does take a long time to boot up, but after that, the simulator shouldn't take that long. But if you do notice that it is taking a while to boot, then you could use your own device. So just want to explain this. This is kind of the Project Explorer, so you have an app delegate that deals with this messages with the app sense. There's a view controller that deals with this all functions dealing with the app. So if you click the launch for right here, kind of gives you a preview of what your app looks like, and let's see if I can yeah. So it's just a white thing or a white screen, just like you saw. Over here you got kind of your properties window, where you could add things over here. You could add, click the touch classes, UI touch classes, files, but you'll probably be on the third tab because it contains UI stuff. So I create, for example, a label, and if I click on the fourth option, I can rename it to Hello World. Resize it so you can see the Hello World, and I'm actually going to center it in the middle. So to do that, you're going to make something called constraints. which basically tells the iOS app that um, well, depending on how you set it up, to resize it that way. Because remember, this is a universal app, so it could be used on the iPad and the iPhone, and each device has different screens. So the constraints are really good because it will resize it. So say we have it in the center, it will resize it in the center for all different devices. So to do that, you're going to hold on the command key, and you're going to click. Okay. Sorry, it isn't a command key, it's a control key. I have mine switched up FY, and you're going to click and drag, let's say to the side, and over here it says center vertically using container. So you see we have that, and we're going to hit the control key and click on here and scroll up to make one vertically. Make sure it's highlighted, so center horizontally, and now you see it's perfectly centered in the middle. And our constraints, you could change them up if you click over here. There's several different options, like leading, trailing, things like that. Mess around with that later, but if we run it, we should have a hello world message in the center of our screen, and that we do. And that was our launch screen. So that was when the app actually launches. So let's call this hello world launch. So this will appear when you launch a screen. So it's kind of like a splash screen type of idea. So when the app first launches, if you're making a game, have like maybe not the main menu, but the main screen with all like the developers and maybe the splash screen for the game. So yeah, you see it pops up for a couple of seconds and goes away. And if you click here, we'll actually go on the main storyboard, which I made a mistake. I thought I clicked this earlier. So this is actually what deals with the UI of the entire app. The launch screen, like I said, deals with the launch screen stuff. We can make another, we can do the same thing here, so we can make a label called Hello World. Center it, rename it Hello World and App, and create some restraints. So control and click up here and choose center horizontally in container. So that's what I'm going to do. And do the same thing, but vertically. And we are going to launch it once more before I end off this tutorial. So you see we have the Hello World and app, and it's centered. The simulator is kind of big, so I have to scroll up and down, but it is centered. And let's say we wanted to run another simulator just to show you how constraints work. So let's say I wanted to run it on iPhone 4S, which has a smaller screen than the iPad 2. The constraints will be the same, but like it'll be centered for the iPhone 4S. Just let it run. But yeah, this is, there's other things you could explore with like buttons, text fields, sliders, switch, other things you see in iOS apps. That we'll get into in several other tutorials. This tutorial was just setting up stuff. And yep, there you go. You see how it's centered, even though it's a smaller screen. So send this to D7, and until next tutorial, I hope you guys have fun playing around with this, and we'll see you we'll see you next time.